They say when you have finished folding 1,000 origami cranes, you'll be granted one wish by a crane. I got this from a Japanese legend, which says anyone who folds 1,000 origami cranes will be granted a wish by a crane. They say the crane in Japan is one of the mystical creatures and is said to live for 1,000 years, therefore explaining why you should fold 1,000. This became more popular with the story of Sadako. Sadako Sasaki is a Japanese girl who died from leukemia as a result of radiation from the atomic bombing of Hiroshima during World War II, and she tried to prolong her life by making 1,000 cranes. However, she only managed to do 644 before her death, and her friends continued making the rest for her. But then I was intrigued by this. She tried to make 1,000 to save her life, and that means any wish can also be granted, right? So then I thought of my family and friends back at home, and how much I terribly miss them. I haven't seen them for almost 3 years. My family would make phone calls to my grandparents every now and then, but not having them around is still different. I lived all my life with them, and even though my grandma would come here in Australia for a visit, it's still not the same as living with them back at home. And even with my friends, I would talk to them through chat or even with small messages to keep us updated with each other, but that is so much different compared with having them face to face while we're talking. It's not the same. And so I thought, why not try making those cranes? Sure, it's time consuming, and it's never like me to believe in a wish being granted by 1,000 cranes. It's like believing in a fairy tale that I know would never come true. But then I thought it would sort of help me by keeping my mind off being homesick all the time. And so I began making them. I learned how to fold one, and then many cranes followed after. Days passed, seasons changed, a year has gone by, and finally I have reached 1,000. My wish? I know it would be absurd to wish that a plane would come and take me home right on the spot. And so I wish to keep my grandparents and my friends safe to the time I get to go home and see them again. It might take another year or so until me and my parents would save enough money to go back home, and I can't wait until that time comes. And I know, hopefully soon enough, it will.